Hi there, I'm Letitia Pfinder and welcome to my channel for another episode of Follow Along Friday. And today we're going to be making this really cute pixelated heart art card. Pixelated art heart card. It's a Valentine. And a bit of a tongue twister. And it's perfect for any gamer in your life. So anybody who loves games or pixel art just in general. Yeah, so I actually made this about a year ago, and I thought it was a good thing to show you, or an interesting thing to show you guys how to do. And it is a postcard style Valentine. So this is the back. I'm not going to show you how I did the back. It's really straightforward. You can write whatever you want. And then this is just a little stamp I had. But I'm going to show you how I created the pixelated look. Alright, so to start, I just made a heart stencil. And this was actually the one I made last year, so that's why I'm pulling it out to show you. So to make this, all I did was fold the paper in half and draw half of the heart and then cut it out. And then when you open it, you have a heart stencil. So this is probably simple for anybody to do. It's something that I know everybody I know anyways learned how to do this in school when we were younger. So yeah, really simple. And then I have some graph paper here. Now I didn't actually have any graph paper, and I didn't want to make it myself with like a ruler and a pencil, which is what I did last year. So I actually didn't have a printer last year. I do have one now. So I just went into Google Images and I searched graph paper. There was a subsection that came up that said 8.5 by 11, so I printed an 8.5 by 11 sheet of graph paper. So for those of you who aren't aware of what pixel art is, it's art made out of pixels. So pixels are the squares that make up images on your computer. And if you look at older gaming consoles, like say the Super Nintendo, that art style is what we're going for. That's what we're creating. So we're going to go in and I'm going to trace this heart. So I want the center of the heart to line up right on the edge, or right in between two of the squares, so right on one of those lines, just to make this a little easier for us. And I also want it to just about hit the top of other lines, of the lines on the top here. So I'm going to go in and trace this, and you don't have to worry about this, you know, the pencil lines being dark or anything here, because this is actually going to end up being a stencil as well, because I'm going to want to transfer this over to some cardstock. Alright, so we've traced our heart. Now we just have to go in and make it look pixelated. So to do this, we're just going to be drawing squares in. You can see here on the card, so yeah, they have all these squared off edges. Alright, so I'm going to start on one side, and then I know what I'm doing because I've actually already worked it out on another paper. I'll just show you here. So I know how many squares I'm going along to make it work. If your squares are different sizes, you know, you might have to make that work differently, but you want to work on one side and then go on the other side and copy that. So then I'm just going to go up 2. So I'm going to show you this first side, just how I'm doing it real time, and then I'll speed up the other half just so you don't have to sit there and watch that. Because it will probably get a little bit boring for you guys. So all I'm doing is following along the squares of the graph paper. 7, 8. Sorry, when I'm doing that, I'm just counting the squares out. And actually, you know, I'll probably put this up onto my blog, and I'll leave a link in the description box below. I will I will scan this paper in, and I'll show you guys with the numbers that I've put in, just to make it easier for you guys if you guys don't want to do this part of it. But if you want to adjust the size of the heart, like you want to go in and make it bigger, smaller, whatever, so you know how to do it yourself. And it's kind of fun to figure out yourself. I really enjoyed doing this one. And then, oops. See what I mean? This is going to get a little tedious for you guys. All right. And then 2 down at the bottom here. Alright, so then I'm just going to do it again on this side, and I'm going to speed that up for you guys. So I'm just going to go and copy the exact same number I did on that side. And I'm just going to speed up that, and then I'll be right back. So I decided to also speed up the cutting up process because it's really tedious. But I'm just going to tell you what I'm doing because I'm going to speed up this part as well. So I'm just going to go in and I'm going to trace the stencil on and then cut it out. So it's going to be the whole cutting up process again. I don't want you guys to have to, you know, sit through 10 minutes of that or whatever it's going to take. And I'm going to explain to you, I just wanted to explain it to you quickly and show you, and then I'll come back and then explain the coloring process and, you know, the fun part. I'll be back in a moment. Alright, so I cut it all out and I actually decided to make a change to it. So in the original, you can see there's a bit of a white line around some of the card, and that actually happened accidentally when I was cutting out the back of this, because this is actually 2 separate pieces that are glued together. And it was just off center, and it created this white halo around it, which in pixel art that happens. You have a white or a bit of a halo that happens around your work because it's pixelated. So you can see, like, when we're going to color, we're going to have a little bit of a lightened area in certain places, like around here and around the edges, and it just made sense to add a white border. So when I went in and I cut it, I actually went in and I cut around the line. Now you can do this more precisely than I did. You can use ruler, you could go in and maybe use the stencil you created and make one that is slightly larger, and just, sorry, I'm just fixing a little piece of it here, and go in and cut some white cardstock that's slightly bigger, and then just glue this on top. You know, you can do whatever you like in that respect. Just pointing that out because I did change it while I was cutting it. And then I decided that it was actually really hard to color around this part when I made it the first time, the light reflection in the heart. So what I did was I went in on just some graph paper and I retraced the heart that I had already done, and I went in and I figured out kind of where I wanted the light reflection to be. And then I created that just on a separate part and cut it out. So I'm going to create a stencil out of this, just with some white cardstock again. And this is actually going to just be glued on afterward, just to make it a little easier. So I'm just going to put that to the side here, and I'm gonna quickly trace that. I'm going to speed that up again for you. I just wanted to explain what I was doing because I actually haven't done this before, but I think it's going to turn out well. So I guess we'll see. It's a little bit of an experiment, and I'll be back in a moment. Alright, so now it's time to color. I'm going to start by coloring the little reflective piece, and for that I'm going to be using a Copic. I'm just going to use RV13, which is Tender Pink, and just grab some cardstock here. I'm going to use the brush tip here. I'm just going to go, actually, I'm just going to quickly grab an eraser first and remove some of those pencil marks, because I'm opening a brand new eraser here. I wasn't going to erase them, but the color that we're using is pretty light, so the marker will show through, and I don't want it to, or the pencil lines will show through the marker, and I don't want them to. So it's just, oh, this packaging is giving me so much trouble. Okay. Alright, I'm just gonna go in and quickly erase some of those lines. Okay. Alright. Alright, sorry about that. Okay, so I'm just gonna go in and I'm gonna go along the edge here. And you will need a colorless blender to do this because I'm going to lighten it a bit. Just to get that halo effect. And just also another tip, while I was cutting this, the pieces that kind of stick out here, which would normally just fall off because they're really tight graph paper squares, right? I went in and I didn't cut them exactly, so they're not, you can see that, they're not completely square there. And I did that just because I wanted to keep them together. If you don't mind gluing them on separately or anything like that, then by all means cut them properly. But I just found that this was easier to stick them on like that, so I decided to go ahead and do it that way. Okay. Now I'm going to go in with my colorless blender, which is 0, and I'm going to lighten up just around the edges here. Actually, you know what? I'm going to use the brush tip. We'll use the bold tip, chisel tip, and we'll go in and just lighten that up. You know what? It looks like I need to refill my marker, so I'm going to be right back. Sorry about that again. Alright, so that's better. I finally got that refilled, and I just flipped over the paper so you guys could see this little better without all those marks. So I'm just going in and I'm lightening up around these edges here. And you'll see now there's going to be a big difference. Like, this is going to work really well. So if you ever get like alcohol-based markers and you want a colorless blender, definitely say go for it. I mean, I've I've had to fill this up a couple times already, and it's because it gets used so much. It's really useful for different things, not just in card making, but when I'm doing an illustration or drawing with them. I find the colorless blender super helpful. And it's funny because I probably wouldn't have bought the colorless blender when I first started out. My mom actually bought just the colorless blender and sent it to me for Christmas last year, because she knew I was interested in getting some Copics, but I didn't really have money to be buying a bunch of them, so I just had a few of them. I'd gotten them for my birthday that year, and so she got me these. You'll see them in a moment because I'm going to use them, but these. They're just called Art Marker, and I think she got them on Amazon. And they're just alcohol-based markers. I'll just show you. I'm going to be using the red in this because I like to keep my Copics for my art. But these are great when you want to use a lot of ink because they're not super expensive or anything, but they're actually pretty cheap. I don't know too much about them, honestly, so I couldn't tell you a whole lot, but, you know, they're, it's good for stuff like this. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to put these to the side here because they're done. And we're going to color in the heart now. So for the heart, this is actually going to be, it's fairly easy to do. I'm going to go in with the red art marker, and they have names and numbers on them as well. This is geranium, and it's R15 for them. You can see that. I'm going to use, they also have a broad or chisel and a fine tip. I'll just show you quickly. So this tip isn't like a brush tip, it's just a fine tip. Or I guess maybe it's a brush, but it's really, really fine. It's not like the Copic one. And then they have a chisel tip, which is just a standard chisel tip. But these aren't bad, and like with any alcohol marker, colorless blender will work with them. So I'm going to be using my Copic blender with them. So the trick to this is going in lines, like so, and then we're going to cross and go in lines to get that effect, to get that pixelated effect without actually without actually drawing in the graph or the lines, the pixels. So with this, I'm going to have to be a little careful because I am leaving that white outline. And you want to stop just short of that line and start just short of the line because alcohol markers do bleed. They do go out just a little farther than you've put them. Not a whole lot, but a little bit. And it's okay to not have a little bit just on the end there because we're going to be putting a black outline right where the pencil marks are, and then we're also going to be using the colorless blender. So you can see, like, I'm not like coloring up and down or all over the place or anything like that. I'm deliberately making lines or marks. Okay, I'm not too concerned about any parts that are like getting left white right now because we will be going back over it in the opposite direction, or that way. Alright, and I'll just fill that in. Alright, I'm going to turn it to the side and we're going to go across this way. Just going to go in do it like this, and I'm actually purposely leaving space in between where I'm leaving these lines. To give it that pixelated graph look. I keep saying graph because it's like the graph paper. That pixelated look. Alright, and then we will go back in with just a few more lines going up and down. This is actually like a really interesting thing to like have come together. It's a lot of fun to do. Alright, so I got that so you can see the lines there. And just put this marker to the side. Oh, I was gonna say I dropped the lid and there it is. Not that you guys can see that, but found it. Alright, so what I'm gonna do now is I'm going to go in with my colorless blender here, and I'm going to fix up some of these lines where I got too much color bleeding out. So these are the places where I really want to like soak it because I want more of that white to show through. If you have way too much even after the colorless blender, you can go in with a white gel pen. I'm actually not quite sure where mine is right this second. I'm in the middle of kind of moving everything around. I think we're going to be moving my desk out of the room, so everything's kind of all over the place right now. So I won't do that, but I've done it in another video and I showed you that it does work, so you can go ahead and do that. But it helps to lighten it as much as you can with the colorless blender. And you can keep going back over it a couple times just to like let it dry and then go back and try to blend it a little bit more and just keep doing that. So that's what I'm doing here. I think I'm actually gonna have to hurry up a little bit because my son's gonna start to get really impatient here, but we're almost done. So alright, so I'm just gonna go around the edges here now and lighten it up. Actually, I'll probably use the chisel tip for that. It makes a little bit more sense. Alright. And we'll just bring that down. I'm just following along the edge here. Are you guys excited for Valentine's Day? I feel like it's a week away, but I feel like it's so much further away. I don't know what's up with everything this year. Like not this year actually, I guess. From Christmas last year on, so like a couple months ago, it didn't feel like Christmas. I guess we didn't get like any snow and it wasn't all that cold or anything. Like we were able to wear like sweaters out for the longest time in December, and I don't know, I guess it kind of took away from it, but I don't know, now that we're getting into Valentine's Day this year, and I'm kind of feeling the same way. Like it just doesn't feel like it should be coming up already. I don't quite know what's going on with that. Maybe it's just me. I don't know. Is it? Do you guys feel like that? But I'm excited. We actually have plans this year. My boyfriend never gets Valentine's Day off, and he'll have it off this year, or he's supposed to anyways. Hopefully he does. And yeah, so I'm really excited to actually go out and do something. So yay for adult time. You guys should let me know if you have anything planned for Valentine's Day. What do you guys like to do? I think we're gonna go see a movie and have dinner, so like just a classic kind of date night. But that's what I enjoy. I love movies. If you know anything about me, you know that I could watch TV and movies all day, every day. No complaints there. And movie theater popcorn is like my favorite thing. So all I did was, sorry for my rambling. All I did was go back over that. You can do it as many times as you like, just to get the look that you're going for. I'm pretty happy with that. It'll lighten a bit as it dries as well. You're going to want to be a little bit careful, maybe go back and clean up some of those edges, because colorless splendor does make it bleed a bit. Again, you can go back in with like even some white paint, or like a white gel pen works fine. I'm just going to let that dry for a quick moment. Actually, while I'm waiting, we'll stick the highlighted pieces on, because I want the colorless splendor to dry before I outline it with another alcohol marker, which will be the black, just so that doesn't bleed. So I think that's where we're gonna put it. So I'm just gonna say right off the bat, the way I've done it this time is actually, it looks so much better. It's a lot easier as well. I'll just show you the difference between them. So I'm really liking this one a lot more than I did this one, even though I really loved this one. But you know, you kind of learn as you go. I'm just gonna say, yeah, like right off the bat, I'm really enjoying this one a lot more. So I'm gonna go in with some glue here. I actually have a glue stick right beside me. I was going through my stuff and I found an old glue stick, so we'll use that for a change. Don't want to deal with my liquid glue right this second, so this is actually easier just to stick it on. And it's just paper, so it should hold. There we go. I'm just going to put them there. And I think that looks really good. I'm really happy with that. I think I can, my camera's not focusing very well right this second. I'm just trying to show you guys. Oh, it's not really focusing. Okay, well, it'll focus soon. Alright, so I think I've given that enough time to kind of dry. I'm gonna go in with the marker now. So I'm just gonna use the black from this set again, just because it's right beside me and there's no difference. So 120 black. Ooh. One thing I don't like about that is the packaging. Alright, so we're gonna use the fine tip because it's really fine. And we're gonna go in and just go around the edges here, around the pencil marks that we have. So you can use, say, like a ruler or something if you want. I'm just trying to be careful while I do it. And this will just bring it out, make it pop a little bit more. Finish it off, you know. So yeah, so I'm getting a lot of places where that did bleed. So that's something to be cautious of there. And again, once this all dries and I find it, I'll go in with my white gel pen and fix that up, and it'll be absolutely fine. So it's a pretty good tip for you there. I just didn't factor it in when I started using the blender, and I should have. Like I said, this was a little bit of an experiment this time because I didn't do it exactly that way when I made it last time, but I'm really, really happy with the results this time. I thought the first one I did was cute, but this one really, really turned out a lot better than the first one did. There. Have a pixelated heart. And to finish it off, so if you want to do what I did last time, so you can't just write on the back of this because the marker will go right through it. I mean, you could, but it'll probably be fairly hard to see, and then you might get some leakage onto this side. So what I did was take some cardstock, just traced out, or you could even just glue it on and then cut from there. And then you just write on the back of that cardstock. So you have a nice crisp white background on it. And that's it. So there you have it. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I'm really loving the Valentine's Day themed projects that we've been doing, and there should be a couple more. I do have a collaboration coming up on Sunday that you'll see. That is a Valentine's themed one, and I'm really excited for you guys to see that. Okay, so if you guys like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. If you'd like to see more from me, you can go ahead and click that subscribe button and down below, and you'll be notified whenever I post a new video. And I hope you guys enjoy your Valentine's Day. If you make this or anything else using one of my tutorials, I would love to see, and you can link it to me, say in the comments or on my social media accounts, and all the links are in the description box below. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Until next time, my crafty friends.